If you thought the Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa triangle was over, think again. Hours after Remy humiliated Papoose with a slick remark about his performance, Claressa's shield broke, and when we say broke, we mean swung first and asked questions. Eyewitnesses never say. It was just words. What do you do when a woman who once called herself Mrs. Black Love decides to drag her own man on Instagram Live in front of millions of people, then has the gall to laugh about it? We're asking the real questions now. Is Claressa finally claiming what's hers? Is Remy going crazy after losing everything, including his career and public respect? And most importantly, did Papoose just sit back and watch two queens fight for his heart? Welcome to Gossip Spill Vibe, where the truth has come to light. Claressa showed up at Remy's set without warning, without any security or makeup, and with a message that said, "You don't deserve a man like him." This story has been simmering for months, and now it's boiling over fire. First, the stage was occupied by Remy Ma, the rap queen and Bronx royalty wife, who is allegedly still with Papoose, the same Papoose who held her down through prison scandals and a dozen BET ciphers. Let's break this disaster all the way down. Let's rewind the mess, because this scenario didn't just begin with a slap, a scream, or a security guard shouting, "Cut the live." Loyalty to a man who waited for years. And how does Remy thank him by clowning him on Instagram Live? Pay close attention, because this wasn't your typical shade. It wasn't that he forgot my birthday drama or left the toilet seat up. Rather, it was a calculated, slick surgical procedure. Remy, sitting in her glam chair with her team around her, applied lashes and gazed straight into the camera and said, "Some men think loyalty is enough." As if that's all you bring to the... "If you know, you know," Remy said, smirking, holding her fingers up barely an inch apart, as one follower asked her bluntly, "Are you talking about Papoose?" The comment section exploded after her stylist choked on her drink, and let's just say that if silence had a face, it was Papoose on his next Instagram story. But wait, that wasn't even the punchline. Before we get to Claressa's explosive entrance into the story, let's examine why this live hits so hard, because Remy Ma didn't just throw shade. Claressa Shields, the self-proclaimed GWAT Olympic gold medalist, and, in recent months, Papoose's biggest supporter, some might even say more than just a supporter, had the room going silent as fans gasped, remixed the clip, and zoomed in like it was an FBI investigation. As you can see, their relationship was based on the idea of a man waiting for his woman to return from prison and supporting her no matter what. When the label stopped referring to it as loyalty on display, however, things began to change over the past year. Remy was more frequently seen with Easy the Block Captain than with her husband, and her appearances at family gatherings were erratic. At the same time, Papoose was hosting birthday parties for their daughter and hyping. The rumors that Papoose was getting close to a certain female boxer began when Remy showed up in studios with 50 Cent on Father's Day, posting cryptic stories and liking suspicious tweets. At first, people laughed it off as a ploy, likening it to pairing Serena Williams with a chess player. However, when paparazzi caught them holding hands outside a Brooklyn juice bar, things quickly became heated. Remy didn't deny it, and neither did Papoose, and she pretended nothing until this. Claressa Shields was reportedly at her Miami gym when she saw the video, and according to one of her teammates, she paused mid-sparring, took off her gloves, and said, "She wants to play dirty, bet." That was strategic humiliation, not just disrespectful, because a woman like Remy knows the power of words and chose to broadcast his shortcomings literally to millions of people. Claressa booked a flight to New York City within 6 hours, but the worst part is that she didn't just call Remy, tweet, or go live. Instead, she showed up in person at a set where Remy was filming a podcast interview. There was no entourage, just her in a hoodie with her hands ready for more than boxing, and my audio was hot. What happened next is what you'll see splashed across every shady blog and gossip page over the course of the next 48 hours. But before we get to the full-on confrontation and trust, it's crazy. Now, let's discuss Claressa's motivations. Why would she jeopardize her public image, sponsorships, and reputation when, for months, people close to her have been speculating that she and Papoose are more than just friends and have been having private phone conversations and dinners at 3 in the morning? She saw something in him that Remy forgot, and she provided emotional support while she was out doing whatever it was she was doing with battle rappers and club promoters. The internet was already buzzing about Papoose as the new power couple, and now it seems like Claressa is ready to fight for her man, not just in the ring. When she heard that disrespect live, something snapped inside her, and it all came to a head when she walked into that podcast studio, looked Remy Ma in the eye, and said, "You don't deserve a man like him." An anonymous source told us that she believes Remy lost the plot and that she won't let Papoose go down with her. They both gasped in shock as the producer yelled, "Are we live?" Remy stood up as if she was about to fight, but Claressa didn't bat an eye, instead moving closer and saying in a low, dangerous voice, "You broke him now, you clown him. Nah, that's not love. That's ego, and I'm not letting you humiliate him one more time." Then, as security attempted to intervene, Claressa said, "You don't deserve a man like him." Producers froze one mic tech and dove for the kill switch, but it was too late because the cameras had already captured what happened next. Claressa's shields and Remy Ma squared off in what can only be described as a full-blown battle of egos. To be clear, this wasn't just about Papoose. It was about pride, reputation, and decades of dominance from. You parade around like loyalty is a leash. Do you ever ask yourself what he needs? Claressa said, leaning in, and Remy, with full Bronx heat, fired back. "Don't preach to me about love. You're a rebound with a mean right hook. That doesn't make you wife material." Security attempted to defuse the situation, but let's just say that when one of the world's best fighters faces off against. The internet exploded in less than 30 minutes after an anonymous assistant leaked the footage to a Twitter page that breaks messy celebrity exclusives. From there, TikTok edits, Instagram breakdowns, and YouTube reactions flooded the timeline. The rapper who did time and nobody stepping in without hazard pay grabbed her purse like it was loaded, and Claressa pulled her ponytail back like it was game time. This isn't a love triangle. It's a celebrity death match Bronx edition, and Claressa showed up like a final boss. Another went viral when Remy humiliated Pap live, and Claressa flew across the country to defend him. Even Fat Joe, in a cryptic tweet, said, "Respect isn't something you borrow, it's something you return." Let's now discuss what really infuriated Claressa. This confrontation had been simmering for weeks, according to our sources, including a hairstylist who allegedly overheard Claressa venting backstage at a Miami shoot. "Pap out here writing poetry while I'm running the game. He's the type to cry when the Uber's late. Petty, sure, but when you've been holding your man." Therefore, it wasn't just this small package comment on live. A close friend of Claressa, who asked to remain anonymous, told us that she saw the live through her protein shake and said, "No, she's not doing to him." It seems different to be down building something new and watching him get publicly clowned by wife, especially when your name starts getting dragged into the mess. Claressa wasn't just. She felt offended, believing that Remy was undermining everything Pap had done to stay loyal and, consequently, making fun of her for taking C. Once more. That flight to New York City was an emotional mission, and thank God the studio confrontation didn't escalate into a physical altercation. However, as soon as Claressa stormed out, the cameras were still rolling when she said, "If you're not woman enough to love him, step aside." I'm not asking twice. You guessed who posted that clip first, Tasha K. Yes, within hours, Tasha had the exclusive watermarked and everything, and it didn't stop there. The video began to go viral, and fans were divided. Some were adamantly supporting Remy and Claressa, saying that Papoose is a prize girl and that you're doing too much, while others were all for Claressa, who traveled across the nation to defend that man who loved her and forgot what she had. Then there were the conspiracy theorists, who said that Remy had planned the entire story to test Claressa's loyalty and support Papoose back into her arms by igniting jealousy, which may be crazy, but this is the internet, and Remy has pulled some crazy stunts before. For example, during the 2022 launch of her mixtape, she faked a pregnancy promo, and fans still haven't forgiven her. However, let's not pretend that Claressa's hands are spotless either. Last week, paparazzi caught her leaving a fancy steakhouse with a mysterious music executive who was known to have dated Remy in the past. The blogs were quiet at the time, but now it's fuel for the fire. One boxing observer even remarked, "This isn't just a love story. It's brand building," raising suspicions that Claressa is milking the controversy to increase her profile before her next fight. Claressa is aware that these days, drama sells better than gold medals, and Papoose has been incredibly quiet. No tweets, interviews, or shade. Just a blank screen with a single phrase on his Instagram story. You guys continue to play games with real hearts without a name, tag, or explanation. Then things took a much darker turn when, according to one insider, Papoose was taken to a private hospital later that night for what his team described as an extreme stress-induced episode. Yes, you read correctly, the same man who, doctors reportedly advised him to take a complete social media detox and, although neither lady has publicly addressed the event because they have both been liking shady things, Claressa liked a tweet that said, "Real love shows up loud in person, not in poems." It is impossible when your wife and your possible lover are trending under the hashtag #slapforp. When you remember you're the prize, even if he's not, Remy wrote as the caption for a meme she liked, showing her changing her wig. Yes, this isn't finished, and simply a blurry, low-quality video of Papoose in a hospital gown, looking weak, with Claressa by his side holding his hand without any words, just tension, was leaked just when fans thought it couldn't get any worse. Some claim it's a staged public relations stunt, while others say it's genuine pain, but one thing is certain. This love triangle has devolved into an emotional demolition site, and the internet is watching every piece fall as it attempts to comprehend the image of Papoose in a hospital gown. His hand was like a lifeline, but Remy Ma was nowhere to be found. An anonymous burner account posted what they claimed was a leaked voicemail from Remy to a close friend late that night. The audio quality was grainy, but the voice was unmistakable. "I didn't mean to break him. And I thought he would fight back rather than vanish." That one clip went viral online. Remy's team were reportedly scrambling behind the scenes as her PR representative allegedly reached out to 3 major blogs offering exclusive interviews, all of which were declined because none of them wanted to get caught in the crossfire between Claressa and Remy One Media. On fire, some took it as a confession, while others heard manipulation, but most agreed it wasn't remorse but regret that the tables had turned and the woman, once celebrated for Black love royalty, was now the villain in her own story. "No one wants to take a side and get burnt when the story is this hot," one insider told us. Meanwhile, Claressa was being invited to all of the country's major podcast panels and women's empowerment events, and brands were lining up to offer her deals. Her fight promo doubled in views overnight, and even people who had never watched boxing before became familiar with her name, not just as a fighter but also as the woman who stood up for a broken man when no one else would. Remy was going to remain silent forever, because just when it appeared that Claressa had taken control of the story, Remy revealed her own shocking information on Instagram. The story featured a single sentence in bold white font on a black screen that read, "You want to fight over a man who cried when I missed his call?" Within minutes, Twitter threads were ablaze. Was Remy trying to paint Papoose as emotionally weak, or was she lashing out because she had finally experienced the pain of rejection? Jane, Papoose's daughter, entered the chat in a since-deleted post on her private account, writing, "My dad deserves better. Always has some women don't know how to value peace until it's gone." Fans immediately connected the dots and were shaken for years. Remy and Jane had a famously tense relationship, but this security footage from a Queens hotel revealed Remy Ma meeting with Easy the Block Captain. Yes, the same rapper who was rumored to have been involved with her last year, just when it seemed like the story could go no further. The footage wasn't compromising, but it was time-stamped with the night of Claressa's confrontation, when Remy wasn't home and was seen arriving at the hotel at 11:47 p.m. as he arrived 6. They remained in the same suite until 4:13 a.m., a few minutes later. In a heartfelt note posted to Instagram, Papoose finally broke his silence. He wrote, "I loved her loud, and I supported her in silence, but what hurts most is realizing you were just a chapter, not the book." His rep, MQ Chaos, declined to comment, posting a vague meme about, "Mind the business that pays you." Within hours, the post had over 300,000 views. The twist is that after everything,